Have you ever wondered why, despite meticulously planning for the future, your life still feels like a rudderless ship? Do you ever feel like the constant anxiety about the future clouds your judgment, no matter how hard you try to push it aside? You are not alone in this. The obsession with the future is a hidden fear lurking in each of us, and that worry eats away at our soul day by day. We live in a world where every moment is tied to expectation, to an image of a perfect tomorrow, where all the things that have not yet happened will bring fulfillment and peace. But there is something Krishnamurti once said, and this could change everything. We cannot live in the present if our mind is always worried about the future. Pause for a moment and think about this. The future has never been something you can control. All the anxiety you direct toward it changes nothing. Meanwhile, the only thing you can control is this very moment. It is the present, the only time you truly have to live fully. And it is through attention to the present, not the endless waiting for some distant future, that freedom can be found. This is not just a theory, it is a profound truth, reflected upon by centuries of spiritual masters and great thinkers. Krishnamurti taught that worry stems not only from a lack of control but from an attachment to a mental image of the future. An image that you believe will bring happiness. But as long as you cling to that image, you are missing the ability to truly live in this moment. Have you ever noticed that every time you worry about something that might happen, you are living with an illusion of the future? You imagine scenarios, situations that might never come to pass. These imaginings only increase your stress, your sense of hopelessness. Krishnamurti emphasized that to break free from this feeling, you must become completely present in the now. Imagine when you direct all your attention to a task or a conversation, rather than staring at the clock or thinking about what is to come tomorrow. You will realize that each of those moments holds the clarity and peace you have been searching for. You don't need to chase after a perfect future. What you need is to live fully with what is happening now. We do not need to rush to find answers in the future. It is through listening, feeling, and observing the emotions in the present that you begin to understand the nature of worry. When you observe and become aware of your thoughts, you are no longer controlled by them. You realize that it is the fear of the future that holds you captive, and true freedom can only come when you let go of that burden. The future is nothing but a concept in your mind. It does not exist outside of your thoughts. Therefore, living in worry about the future is not just a waste of time but a denial of the opportunities and beauty of the present. When you give all your attention to the present moment, you begin to experience life fully, and the anxiety about the future will gradually fade away. When you face this truth, that the future cannot be controlled, a profound freedom will slowly begin to arise within you. You will no longer be swept away in the whirlwind of thoughts about things that have not happened yet. You will realize that peace is not an external condition but an internal state. It is through awareness and attention to the present that you unlock the key to breaking free from all anxiety. As you let go of your attachment to the future, a profound shift begins to take place within you. The grip of worry starts to loosen and you begin to feel lighter, freer. You no longer feel bound by expectations, by the constant desire to plan and predict every step ahead. Instead, you begin to sense the richness of the present moment, a deep stillness that resides within. It is here in this stillness that true freedom lives. Krishnamurti once said, "The mind that is constantly searching for security in the future is the mind that is constantly afraid." Fear is the root of all worry. It is born from the uncertainty of what lies ahead and the desire to control it. But the very nature of fear is that it is always tied to something that has not yet happened. And in that very moment, when you choose to face the present, you are choosing to let go of the fear that binds you. You see, when you are trapped in the fear of an uncertain future, you are not living at all. Your thoughts, your mind, are consumed with what might be. But what about what is? What about the sensations of your breath, the feeling of the sun on your skin, the sound of a loved one's voice? These are the things that make up the fabric of your life. These are the things that, when you give them your full attention, lead you to the joy of simply being. But it is not enough to merely think about being present. Presence requires awareness, a deep and undivided attention to each moment. It is a practice, not a destination. It is an ongoing act of choosing to return to the present, every time your mind begins to wander to the what-ifs of the future. This is the true art of living, to let go of the mental projections about the future, and to dwell fully in the reality of the now. What happens when you do this? When you commit to living without constantly worrying about what is to come, you begin to feel the beauty of life itself, untouched by fear, unburdened by expectations. You experience a sense of wholeness as if you are finally home. In this state, the anxiety that once controlled you begins to fade, and you become more aligned with your true essence. It is in these moments of true presence that you begin to understand what Krishnamurti meant when he said, "The observer is the observed." When you are no longer a separate entity from your thoughts and emotions, when you are not identifying with the future or the past, you are free to simply be. You are no longer at war with yourself, no longer seeking validation or approval from external sources. You realize that everything you need is already within you, right here, right now. The present moment becomes your sanctuary. It is where you heal from past wounds, where you let go of regrets and expectations. It is where you begin to transcend the illusion of time and space, where the boundaries of the self dissolve. Here you are whole. Here you are free. It is not a matter of ignoring the future, but rather of embracing the present so fully that the future no longer has any power over you. The future becomes an idea, a concept, something that may or may not come to pass. And even if it does come, you will meet it with a calm mind and a steady heart, because you are not dependent on it for your happiness. Your happiness is rooted in the moment, in the quiet peace that comes when you stop running from yourself. When you realize that the future is not something to fear or control, you stop living in anxiety and start living in awareness. You begin to see how the constant worry about what's next has kept you from experiencing life as it is. You become more compassionate with yourself, understanding that this journey, this moment, is enough. You begin to recognize that you are enough. The more you practice being present, the more you realize that life is not something to escape from, but something to fully embrace. And as you do, the future takes on a new light. It is no longer a source of anxiety, but an opportunity for growth, for learning, for living even more fully in the moment. In the end, you discover that the key to overcoming anxiety about the future is not to control it, but to surrender to the present. To accept the now with open arms, knowing that you are not defined by what may come, but by the beauty of who you are in this very moment. And it is in that acceptance, in that surrender, that you find your true freedom. As you continue to live in the present moment, a deep and profound shift occurs. You begin to realize that the present is the only true reality that exists, and everything else, past or future, is merely an illusion, a story told by the mind. Krishnamurti often spoke of the importance of freedom from the known, from the conditioned thought patterns that trap us. The future, with all its projections and anxieties, is nothing but a continuation of these conditioned thoughts. When you are living in the future, you are merely living in an idea, a dream. It is in the present that you meet life as it truly is, free from the mental noise of what might be. In this space, you are free to experience the world without judgment, without fear, and without expectation. You are free to simply be, to experience the fullness of each moment without attachment or resistance. But this freedom does not come easily. It requires a deep awareness, a constant return to the present whenever your mind starts to drift. The more you practice being present, the more you realize how often you have been consumed by thoughts of the future, by worries about what is to come. Yet, the moment you return to the present, the moment you bring your full attention to the here and now, you begin to feel a sense of peace, a calmness that is independent of external circumstances. This peace is not the absence of challenges, nor is it the absence of thoughts. It is the ability to stand in the midst of life, with all its uncertainties and difficulties, and still remain grounded in the present. It is the recognition that the future is uncertain, and that is perfectly okay. You are no longer defined by your fears of the unknown, because you have learned to trust in the moment. And it is in this trust that you find true freedom. When Krishnamurti spoke of freedom, he was not referring to a freedom that can be found outside of you. True freedom, as he saw it, is the freedom to be completely present, to live without attachment to past memories or future expectations. It is the freedom from the self, from the ego, the mental constructs that define who you think you are. It is the freedom to live authentically, to experience life as it is, without the distortions of the mind. In the present moment, there is no need for the ego to project its desires, its fears, or its ambitions. There is no need to hold on to a mental image of who you are or who you should be. You are free to simply exist, to experience the richness of life as it unfolds before you. And as you do, you begin to realize that all of your anxieties about the future were rooted in a false belief. The belief that the future could provide you with something that the present cannot. The present moment holds everything you need. In it, you have the power to heal past wounds, to let go of regret, and to release any anxiety about what is yet to come. It is in the present that you can reconnect with your true self, with the essence of who you are beyond the stories you tell yourself. And when you do, you begin to see the future not as a threat, but as a continuation of the now. You realize that every moment is a stepping stone, leading you forward, but only if you are fully present in each one. The more you live in the present, the more you discover that life is not something to be feared or avoided. It is a continuous flow of experiences, each one unique, each one valuable. When you stop resisting the present, you begin to embrace it with an open heart. You stop trying to control everything and instead allow life to unfold in its own time. In this surrender you find peace. Krishnamurti's teachings invite you to question everything, to break free from the patterns of thought that keep you trapped in the past or future. He asks you to let go of the illusion that happiness or peace can be found in the future, and to instead turn your attention to the present moment. Because it is in the present that you will find the freedom, the peace, and the clarity that you have been searching for all along. You will begin to see that the future is not something to be feared or controlled, but something that can be met with a calm mind and a peaceful heart. And in this realization, you will discover the ultimate truth, that the present is the only place where life truly happens. Everything else, the past, the future, the stories we tell ourselves, is just a distraction from the richness of now. As you live in the present, you begin to embody the freedom that Krishnamurti spoke of. You stop living for the future, stop waiting for something to change. You realize that true freedom comes from letting go of the need to control and simply allowing yourself to experience life as it is. And in that experience, you will find a peace that cannot be shaken by the uncertainties of the future.